You're listening to Parasearch Radio, news, views and reviews from the world of the paranormal from across the UK and beyond. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web. Parasearch UK Radio. Parasearch Radio, broadcasting to the UK and beyond.
The views and opinions expressed by presenters and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Parasearch Radio or its affiliates and sponsors. Listener discretion is advised. You're listening to Kerry Greenaway and Mark Manley on the Dark Mirror Paranormal Show, only on Parasearch Radio.
Good evening and welcome to the Dark Mirror Paranormal Show. My name is Kerry Greenaway, and as usual on a Friday evening we bring you lots of fun and frolics. As usual in the studio I have the lovely Mark Manny. Good evening, Mark, and how are you this fine evening?
I am super lovely and great and smashing and healthy and everything, yes. Yes.
And how is our lovely Kaz Rooney, who's also with us in the studio? Good evening, Kaz.
Thank you. Good evening.
Kaz is a little bit beaten down tonight, I would like to say. Whoever has hexed my lovely Kaz, I want you to take it off. If not, I will hex you back. And you really don't want that, okay? Just saying. Hashtag just saying. Kaz.
You really don't.
You really don't. You're right, lovely.
Yeah.
Fridge freezer's gone tonight, everybody.
Yeah.
Harsh times.
Why don't you just get hold of get in touch with my ex-mother-in-law to get her to come and breathe on the frozen food? You'll be all right for a few days.
That's a bit nasty.
just stating a fact.
Okay, before we get into this show tonight, last week we did a show on scrying. In case you missed it, it's available on YouTube channel Parasearch Radio and also on the speaker channel if you want to have a listen to that. There is a new vlog. I did a little vlog this week, guys. That was a little scary.
Do you know what?
Thanks,
My daughter's trying to get me to do a vlog with her about like reactions to things and stuff, and it's
What, like coffee?
No, reactions to idiotic questions on the internet and stuff like that. You know, where somebody does a question and you just look at the question and then you look at everybody like, what the hell is wrong with this person, you know?
Yeah, one of those.
And with with me being the person I am.
Oh my goodness me. Well, if you haven't seen the latest vlog or listened to any of the recent shows, then go over to our Parasearch Radio YouTube channel, which is obviously on YouTube. Where is it? It's on YouTube.
Well, the YouTube channel, it's in YouTube.
Ooh. Strange that, like a little strange coincidence there.
I thought it was on BBC Three.
Yeah, it's on BBC Three on YouTube. And check them out. Now, last night, Kaz did an absolutely fantastic show, I have to say. If you didn't catch it, she had Dacre Stoker on, who is Bram Stoker's great-nephew. Was it? Or great-great-nephew?
Great-grandnephew.
Great-grandnephew. What a font of information that guy was.
Mm.
That was awesome.
Mm.
So if you want to know a bit more about the person who wrote Dracula, then listen to that show. Oh my!
Didn't he have a mummy? Didn't he have a mummy in his writing study?
Who? Bram?
Sure he did.
I don't know.
At some point, he had a mummy. Yeah, I'm sure he had a mummy in his study at some point. Not biblically, just
We
just
found
family.
out so much. Well, I say we. I was listening, and Kaz was doing the interview. What an amazing show that was!
Kaz was more listening to the man than she was doing any interview, but never mind.
He was fascinating to listen to, though, wasn't he?
And he's just got all this information we don't know about Bram Stoker. Amazing.
Absolutely fascinating. So, guys, check that out. That's on YouTube or on the Spreaker channel as well. Because, trust me, that's one show you really, really shouldn't have missed, because that was just absolutely awesome to listen to. And it really gave you like an understanding behind the scenes as well. I mean, I didn't realise. I thought I'd read it, but listening, I was thinking, no, I've seen plenty of the movies, but not actually read the book.
And we actually heard it first on Parasearch last night that Paramount Movies have actually bought the rights to the new book that's coming out in October.
Yeah.
And they've got one of the best horror directors of the day to direct it. So the movie's going to be getting filmed as well from the book.
Is this another vampire? Another vampire one or another Dracula one?
What Dacre has done is actually taken the story forward. So from notes and everything, he's actually moved the story forward and actually written it sort of from...
But this book in October is Stoker on Stoker, isn't it?
Yeah.
So about Bram himself and who he was. Mm-hmm. So Paramount Movies have actually bought the rights to that.
Fantastic.
That should be interesting.
Can't wait.
So the life story of Bram Stoker, yeah?
Yeah. So, guys, if you missed that show, seriously, check it out, because it was freaking awesome. Even if, I know we bring you some amazing topics on Parasearch, that was one of the ones where I was sitting back going, wow. Do you know what I mean? That was an awesome show, I have to say. Well done, Kaz. Well done.
Thank you.
Really, really good show. Anyway, this week's show. Tonight, we are talking all about the number 13. Now, some people believe the number 13 is bad and evil and awful, and other people think it's like really, really good, don't they? And is lucky. So we thought we'd take a look at the number 13. Now, Mark, what is the fear of number 13? We can't say this word, so we're getting Mark to say this.
Mark to do it.
Okay, here we go. Paraskavadecatriophobia. I'll try it again. Paraskavadecatriophobia.
That's actually the fear of Friday the 13th. The actual word for the fear of 13 is just the triskaidekaphobia bit.
Triskaidekaphobia.
That's the one.
Triskaidekaphobia.
That's the fear of the number 13. Add para to the front of that, and that gives you the fear of Friday the 13th. Now, tris means 3, obviously, and deca means 10, and phobia, obviously, means fear.
Didn't Decca make dodgy stereos back in the 70s?
I think I owned one of those.
Well, my mum did at some point.
I think I did own one of those, to be fair.
You also had an Amstrad, didn't you?
Probably.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, probably, but shh, don't tell anybody.
That explains so much. Alien technology. Yeah. Aliens, there you go.
I remember, just a little spoiler, I came in from a club one night about 2:30 in the morning, as you do, and decided that I wanted to continue said party, turned on the stereo for whack, and clearly the parents weren't pleased with that one. I got shouted at quite a lot that night. Anyway, let's have a look at the fear of Friday the 13th for a start. Kaz, tell me a little bit about Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th can only occur in months starting with a Sunday. So, I cannot say that word. Just
go fear of the Friday the 13th. Let's just simplify it down as we do on the Dark Mirror
Just
show.
say decaphobia. Just say decaphobia. Fear of dodgy records.
The fear of Friday the 13th actually results in losses of excess of $800 million annually because people avoid getting married, travelling, and in most severe cases working because they're so scared of the day they think something really bad's going to happen.
I've worked on Friday the 13th numerous occasions, and I've even been on my motorbike down the motorway on Friday the 13th, And Either that or I'm a bloody idiot, but you know.
No, I agree. I don't even really kind of acknowledge it, really. I go, oh, it's Friday the 13th.
Jay,
I don't really think about it.
Jay in the chat room said he ain't afraid of no 13, but it's Jay. He's only got to growl at them and they're going to be like, God damn it, he's coming.
This is very true. Talking to the chat room, good evening, guys, in the chat room. The chat room is filling up nicely. Lovely to see you all in there. Thank you so much for joining us. It's always great to hear your comments as we get Stickman thingy all over again. Jeez. we just like to...
Tridecaphobia.
Yeah.
There you go. Tridecaphobia.
Yeah, we've got it down now. So, however, I would just like to say that it has been researched, believe it or not, and no data exists and will never exist to confirm that the number 13 is an unlucky number. Now, this has come from the Human Factors and Safety Behavioural Group at the University of Helsinki Institute of Behavioural Sciences in Finland, believe it or not. I don't just go anywhere. I go all sorts of places to find out this information for you guys. There is no reason to believe that any number would be lucky or unlucky. That's what they said in Finland. Get that?
I actually have a personal theory about Friday the 13th.
Go on then.
I think people build it up in their head and think something bad's really going to happen to the point that something bad does really happen. And they blame it on the day. I think they build it up in their head that something bad is going to happen.
I think,
there's somebody else. Is there somebody else tuning in?
So it was like the same page.
Warren, we're live. Sorry, that's...
Bugger off, Warren!
Oh, yeah, Warren's live on Parasearch Radio. Good evening, Warren. What's your opinion of Friday the 13th? Oh, bless his little cotton socks. Now, they actually compared numbers to data collected on Friday the 6th of the same months and found that although there are consistently... This was to do with road traffic accidents, by the way. Although there were consistently fewer vehicles on the road during the 13th, and they said it was possibly as a result of superstitious people choosing not to drive, the researchers proposed that the risk of hospital, been caned about that word before. Hospital. I say it wrong. I know I say it wrong.
Weird thing, isn't it?
I know it's one of those things that I say
50
that's
Shades
wrong.
of Grey.
Oh, whatever. I just say it wrong, but it's in my head. It
Alpaca
comes out
Mountain.
right.
Yeah.
It's a bit like the Alpaca Mountains, yeah.
Yes.
Admission.
Oh, and what was the other thing you said? Fifth thing. That was it.
No, Mark.
Yes, you
Mark.
did. Yes, you
Mark. The result of hospital admissions as a result of transport accidents may be increased by as much as 52% on the Friday the 13th. However, I would just like to add, that particular statistic was written for the Christmas edition of the Medical Journal, and that particular journal usually carries fun or spoof articles. So I think on that particular one, we should sort of put a bit of tongue-in-cheek on that one. Do you not think?
I also think that Friday the 13th is an excuse for people to have a day off work and go down the pub.
Well, there's nothing wrong with going down the pub. Anyway.
Well, we had it's any excuse, isn't it? Because we had the tour of Yorkshire go right through the middle of our village yesterday, and I swear, all of my village had blagged a day off work and were in every single pub getting drunk. You could hear them, and when the cyclists entered the other end of the village, you could hear "Hey!" going right the way through the village up to the other end. Brilliant.
Anyway, another superstition that's built up around Friday the 13th was to do with the Knights Templar. Yeah? Right. Now, as we all know, that was a medieval society of knights, and they were allegedly arrested. Well, they weren't allegedly. They were arrested on Friday the 13th. However, I've looked into this a little deeper, as I do. I like to do a little digging on this.
It was October the 13th, 1307.
Yes, that's right. Now, the Da Vinci Code, Dan Brown's book, popularised the theory that these are the reason why Friday the 13th have fear of the date, because this big event happened on that day. Now, some of them were arrested on that date, but that isn't the origin of the superstition.
No. There's also, they think that the origin of the superstition might be based back to the ancient Sumerians, who considered the number 12 a perfect number, and then they considered that the one that followed it was a decidedly non-perfect number. That's where that originally started.
Exactly.
Apparently.
So it goes back further than that, doesn't it?
Mm.
Now, the hottest take on Friday the 13th at this moment in time actually goes back to the 1907, believe it or not, when a novel titled Friday the 13th was published. In the book, Nathaniel so-and-so, Lacan Mayer argues that before the 20th century, 13 had been an unlucky number and Friday had been an unlucky day. But Friday the 13th, before that date, wasn't necessarily a concept, believe it or not.
There's also the Code of Hammurabi, isn't there?
I know, we're getting onto that.
Harambe, he was that gorilla,
You're jumping
wasn't he?
well ahead. You're jumping well ahead, Marky Mark.
Code of a gorilla.
Okay.
Aliens. There you go.
So, oh, Jesus, we've gone on to aliens already. So, the Friday the 13th thing may well just be a mix of two different fears. What do we think of that? A fear of the number 13 and the fear of Fridays. But fear of Fridays, while I was researching this, that is a whole different topic. That is like, I didn't realise that the Friday thing was a huge thing. See, Friday thing in my land is like, party time, it's the weekend. You know what I mean? It always has been. You know, it's like the end of the week, working week. It's, you know, you can cut loose. You know, you don't have to get out for work tomorrow generally. And it was the start of the weekend.
No, I don't have a weekend. I've got to work right away through to Wednesday.
Neither do I generally. But back into day, when I worked into office, you know what I mean? I mean, I have to say my actual weekend started on a Wednesday, but that was like incidental. The actual real weekend started on the Friday.
Isn't it, if I'm right in thinking that Fridays are superstitious because of anything bad that happened on a Friday, that was the Sabbath day, wasn't it, when you went fish on Friday and everything like that?
Well, they used to say, didn't they? The fishermen used to come in and it used to be the Friday thing, didn't it? Fish and chips on a Friday. But, you know, I don't know. I think the Friday the 13th is like a lot to do media-driven, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to put... if you've got I mean, it's a hive thing, isn't it? Something bad, really majorly bad happens on that day, and the human race as a whole does not forget. And down throughout the centuries, they've forgotten the original meaning, but they've got the just a thing in their head that 13th, you know, Friday the 13th and number 13th, stuff that, you know.
Yeah. It's one of those things, isn't it? So I'm just having a look at the chat room. Jay, if there's a full moon on Friday the 13th, it just doesn't change anything. It's just like, it don't change nothing. People go crazy on a full moon. That's like a well-known fact.
Apparently I do. My missus, you ask Lynn, she turns around and says that on the 13th, my voice goes a bit deeper, and I'm already a hairy bugger anyway, but my voice goes a bit deeper, and I'm a bit, you know.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
Kaz, we need to control Mark on a full moon, particularly if it's a Friday the 13th, clearly. Is that the week we have to pre-record?
Yeah, I'm coming round to your place. It's all right, we'll all come up.
No, you're not coming to my house on that day, I'm telling you now. I'll end up having to beach slap you. Anyway.
That just make it worse.
So, oh my goodness, it's absolutely filling up. Jesus. Very active chat room tonight. Thank you, guys. So, okay. So, So, where did it all come from? Let's step right back in time. Let's go right back in time. Let's step it back. So, what's the earliest myth, Mark? Let's talk about the Code of Hammurabi. The
Code of Hammurabi.
Yeah.
Right. The Code of Hammurabi, one of the world's oldest legal documents, which may or may not have superstitiously omitted a 13th rule from its list. Others claim that the ancient Sumerians, who considered number 12, as I've already said, was a perfect number, and that 13 shouldn't be on there. But basically, Hammer Time, the Hammurabi one, is one of the most complete written legal codes proclaimed by Babylonian King Hammurabi, who reigned from 1792. Oh, right, I was going to say 1792 to 1750 BC, not AD. And he expanded the city-state of Babylon, along the Euphrates River, all of southern Mesopotamia. And the Hammurabi Code of Laws, a collection of 282 rules, established standards for commercial interactions and set fines and punishments. Punish me! To meet the requirements of justice. And Hammurabi's code was carved into a massive finger-shaped black stone steel or pillar. And
that was finger, everybody, in case you missed this.
Are you losing it? Mathematicians and scientists... she snorted, she is. Mathematicians and scientists, meanwhile, point to the preeminence of the number 12, often considered a perfect number in the ancient world.
Perfect number.
And the ancient Sumerians developed numeral systems based on the use of the 12 that is still used for measuring time today. So basically 13 was just not good enough. It just wasn't.
I mean, it's like being the little sister of the perfect sister, isn't it?
Well, as soon as you hit 13, if you're a boy, you hit 13, your voice goes, you get hairs going where you don't know where hairs are going, so 13 is a bad time for everybody.
Allegedly so, according to this. Now, this is sort of borne out quite a lot in various mythologies and superstitions across the world. Okay, so let's have a look at Norse. Good old Norse mythology. We'd covered Norse a little while ago, but little old Loki is a bit of a nightmare, isn't he, Kaz?
Yeah, he is a bit of a nightmare. Norse lore holds the evil and turmoil were first introduced in the world by the appearance of the treacherous and mischievous god Loki at a dinner party.
Sorry.
He was the 13th guest, upsetting the balance of the 12 gods already in attendance.
I was just giving you some suspense there, you know.
Oops.
Back to Dracula. Yeah, he was like the 13th guest at the party of the gods that were already there. He was like the spare part at a wedding, really, wasn't he, old Loki?
So you just said that Loki's a spare what's-it at a wedding.
It is a bit like that, isn't it? You know, the 13th guest upsets the balance of the table.
Yeah.
Well, that's the same as the Last Supper, isn't it?
Exactly. With Jesus and his 12 apostles, and then good old Judas rocks in, and he turned out to be the one that betrayed him. And he was
you knew, because as soon as Judas walked in, I've got to say this, as soon as Judas walked into that room where they were having their dinner, everybody stopped talking, somebody went, fuck no, I'm bringing out Judas.
Exactly,
Here goes the party. And that was it. It all went down, went downhill.
I'll have you.
Yeah, you went, he said, because he said to Jesus, are you going to eat that? And he went, you was like, you got any to spare? And he went, no, I love cheese. And he went, cheese. And Jesus told him off for licking his cheese off his fingers.
Oh my God, that's just gross.
It's just, that's why it all came from. We all knew Judas and his chariot was going to be terrible.
Well, I mean, God, if you turn up to the 13th member to turn up to a party, it's hardly surprising. It's a bit like it upsets the balance, and you're like, God, like you say, you can imagine, God, Judas has arrived.
Judas is here. Look, he's trimmed his beard, especially. Oh God.
Yeah, I mean, and Loki as well. Both were like those kind of characters, upsetting the balance and everything.
Well, it's Loki, isn't it? I mean, Loki and Thor, my God, my thunder, I will hit you with Mjolnir. And Loki's just like, come at me, bro. So
yeah, I'll give you some back if you come at me.
In the house.
Whereas Jesus was like, I'll be a bit more two-faced than that. I'm just going to give you a kiss on the cheek.
When I get back up there, I'm going to speak to my dad on you. I'm going to tell my dad about you. That's it. You're knackered.
Yeah, you're done. Anyway,
smite him.
This has carried on and is still quite a superstition that you shouldn't have 13 to a dinner party. Now, at the Savoy Hotel, we all know the Savoy. It's one of those places us girls would love to be taken to on a date. # just saying. And they don't take any chances. If you actually book a table for 13, you will actually find your table is actually set for 14 guests. They won't have 13 guests at a table in the Savoy. Casper the black cat, will be joining you for dinner. Now, Casper is a 3-foot sculpture cat that resides at the Savoy, would you believe, and will be placed in the 14th chair. So you never have 13 at a table at the Savoy. I'm going to have to try this at some point.
That. I quite like that.
I like that idea too.
Casper the friendly cat. Not
Yeah.
Casper the friendly ghost. Casper the friendly cat. Your 14th chair is sat. We haven't got 14 guests. You'll have now. Meow.
Could you imagine, like, arriving with your 13 guests and then going, hang on, why is there an extra chair? And then they just plonk this statue there and you're like, who's that? And they're like, Casper. And you're like, okay. And they're like, well, don't have 13 for a guest. It's unlucky, unlucky for some. But apparently, Winston Churchill was particularly fond of Casper.
In a nice way, or?
Well, who knows?
Or was it like in a Blofeld way, kept stroking his...
Stroking his Casper the cat. I have to imagine, not knowing Winston Churchill, clearly, but, knowing a little of the history of Winston, we're now down to Winston. He's like a personal friend, you notice. I would imagine he would try this theory, possibly, and deliberately book a table for 13 people.
Can I just mention one very quick fact about Churchill?
Go on.
Not a lot of people know. My late father was one of his pallbearers at his funeral.
Really?
Yep, straight up. Yeah, my dad, he was in the Irish Guards when he was... Well, Irish Guards and SAS and MI6 and all the James Bondy stuff, but he was asked to be one of Winston Churchill's pallbearers, and he was.
I love this. Everybody's well having fun in the chat room tonight. I can't even repeat some of what's being said because it's like back in time, but maybe we should time slip back.
Did Jay just say do a spirit box section and ask Jesus?
No, or Winston Churchill, I think he's actually going with.
Right, I was going to say.
I think maybe we've moved on in conversation from Jesus. Good old Jesus, let's just spirit box him. Kaz, get your spirit box out. Let's get Winston on. How about Jesus? Okay, sorry, spoil. Let's go to the either or, let's just go for the top of the pile.
Hide them on the beaches. Yes.
Yeah, we'll just do the speech and channel him through. And yeah, I'm channeling him right now. And he says, yep, that's true. I did that on a regular basis just to annoy the staff at the Savoy Hotel.
You could see him doing that, couldn't you? Like, bloody war, what shall we do now? I know, let's go down there, yes. Get a cat, get that stuffed cat over there, put it in there, and really go to make the thing off.
Could you imagine it? Sorry, Gary, you're being very intelligent, and we do appreciate your intelligence in the chat room. It's a Friday night show, that's all I'm saying. Anyway, on September the 13th in 1881, in room 13 of Manhattan's Knickerbocker Cottage.
Knickerbocker.
All I remember is the Knickerbocker glory days of Wimpy.
What is Knickerbocker cottaging?
Exactly. Where's Knickerbocker cottaging? Well, 12 expectant men sat around a table. The meal was all set out, big platters of lobster salad, each moulded into the shape of a coffin, surrounded by 13 crawfish. The decorations were perfect, 13 candles exactly, and a big banner that read, Nos mortituri de salutamus, which is Latin for, we who are about to die salute you. And they were waiting on just one man. When an hour or so passed, the last guest hadn't shown himself. The dinner's host, William Fowler, took matters into his own hands. He grabbed a nearby waiter. I love this. The waiter was like, oh my God, what the hell? And the waiter was understandably a little upset by this. Fowler was just about to put the waiter through some initiation rites, which makes me wonder what the initiation rites were, when the last invitee to the supper arrived. The waiter was released and the first of 13 toasts was made, and this began the first meeting of the 13 Club.
Also, didn't the gladiators, didn't they say, we are about to die, salute you as well?
Yeah.
Do you remember the gladiators? Are you ready? I didn't see them doing it on that show.
No, they didn't do it on that particular show, no, but they did it on the Spartacus kind of gladiator thing.
I can always, when you hear the gladiators and Spartacus, completely off topic, I always remember the film Airplane, where the pilot's talking to the little boy, and he's like, "Do you like gladiators?"
Richard says Knickerbocker cottaging is when you get your Knickerbocker glory from a small hole. No, I can't even read that. I wish I'd read that before I started reading that.
You can't stop finish.
All the intelligent comments that have come into the chat room, and I decide to read the one that isn't intelligent at all. Normally, Richard comes out with some intelligent comments. I have to say, Richard, I'm very disappointed. Very disappointed in you.
What you should be asking is, how does Richard know this?
This is true. Maybe this is a topic for a new show.
Paranormal.
Yes, Paul, Mr. Rook, I can understand this show may well be in need of editing. And I will be saying, oh, can you just edit that bit out for me? Oh, my goodness me. Anyway, let's move on. Let's look at Aztecs and the number 13. Kaz, enter the room.
Yeah. The Aztecs considered 13 to be a very sacred number. It was the number of time and stood for completion. An Aztec week lasted for 13 days.
Wow, 13 days, eh? God, that's a long wait for a weekend, isn't it? For 13 days. That's a heck of a long wait.
The Aztec year was 260 days. It was divided into 20 13-day periods. The 13-day period was called a tricina. Tricina?
Either or, I would say. Yeah, go for it.
Tricina.
Tricina.
Tricina, sorry. Tricina. That's like something you put in your head, isn't it? Maybe.
Their concept of heaven and hell must have been as a temporary storage place for the soul, playing with humans, even after death by all the powerful deities. Men were truly toys of the gods.
Now, this reminds me of like the Greek religion. If you think about the gods of Olympus, do you remember they used to have like figures, and they used to place them and play with the people and stuff. Anyway, carry on. Now, there were 13 concepts of heaven, weren't there?
Mm-hmm.
Carry on. I'm choosing you because the words in this
You're
are
choosing
really...
me because of this word.
I know. It goes on, Kaz. Honestly, good luck with this. Carry on, love.
Number 1 was Realm of the Moon, presided over by Turquoise Lord.
Ah, she missed it! Go on, Mark. Fill that word in.
Go on, Mark.
Who?
Zitokli.
Really?
Really?
Yeah,
I don't think that's right either.
If it was Chinese, that would be Zhao, but it's Z. You don't pronounce the H. It's Xiuh. Zitokli. Or Zituxli.
Anyway, the Turquoise Lord. Well done, Kaz. Yes, carry on. Number 2.
Realm of the Stars. In this level, there were women who had no flesh, just bones.
Lovely. They're called They were called... What's the word? Anorexic women.
Anorexic gods. Oh, you want to have a sandwich? Look at you. Have a Dorito.
They were called Tetsuchini? Or...
Tetsuawa.
I can't even say that. Come on.
Tetsuawa.
Do you know what... You do this deliberately, Kerry, I swear.
I do this deliberately. And you notice I never do this bit. I never ever do this bit.
These women were to devour the people during the destruction of the fifth sun, or end of the world.
Hardly surprising, because they were bloody hungry.
Paul Rook wants to do a show on words we can say. That will be an awesome show. I thoroughly concur.
We do like to do this on a Friday.
According to Alcaron, this level was presided over by Lal Tuklai, meaning Lord of the Land. I am so falling out with you, Kerry.
I've just seen the next one coming up. Good luck.
Just an evil queen. That's what I've been called to do, so I'm being evil.
Duran also makes reference to this deity in the second level of heaven. There is some debate as to the gender of this deity, and several spellings are common. Spelling may have been... Go on, Mark.
Oh, God. Wahid Kalpan Tekutli, meaning the Dawn Lord.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Okay, it gets easier, Kaz. It gets easier. Number 3. Go for number 3.
Realm of the Sun. Number 4, Realm of the Planet Venus of Birds.
Yep.
Number 5, Realm of Comets and Fire Serpents.
Hell yeah.
Number 6, Realm of Winds and the Colour Black.
Is that like the realm of baked beans?
That's my realm.
Realm of baked beans. Okay.
7, Realm of the Colour Blue and Dust, presided over by Huxley Hoxley.
Almost.
Almost.
Yeah, that'll do.
Number 8.
Yeah, Whitley or Pockley. He sounds like an Irish leprechaun. Jesus, it's Whitley or Pockley.
We're not taking the mickey out of any of these gods. I would just like to put a disclaimer out. Disclaimer, whatever the word is. Disclaimer out to the gods of the world.
And if you're Scottish like Kaz, it's a proclaimer.
Whatever, we're not doing that. we are just reading stuff out, okay? Hashtag just saying. Number 8.
Realm of Storms, presided over by Tlaloc.
Yeah, Tupac. Let's go for Tupac on that one.
Realm of White God. Number 9. 10, Realm of Yellow God, presided over by...
Testaski Polka.
Yeah, that one. Number 11, Realm of the Red God. Number 12, Omisian, the place of duality, where the primordial creatures lived, the Lord and Lady of Duality. That's interesting. According to Alcon's book, this level of heaven, or Topan, as he refers to the concept, was presided over by a deity referred to as... Mark, go ahead.
Twahid Kalpan. Twahid Kalpan to Chukli.
This may have been a representation of what, Mark?
Quetzalcoatl.
Because 12 is due out, they class it as 12 and 13. So, yeah, I hope you all paid attention. We will be taking notes and test you on it later. That is the 13 realms or skies of the Aztecs. Okay? So, we will be testing you later. Guys in the chat room.
Oh, the Illuminatis. Thank you, Gary. Yes, you're right about the Illuminati.
Oh, the Illuminati.
That don't exist. The Illuminati.
They do exist. I'm a member of them.
That doesn't surprise me.
Evil queen, just saying. Anyway, let's move on from that. So that was the Aztecs. They have put a great status on the number 13. Loads of things in the Aztecs referred to the number 13. Didn't they?
Yeah.
They thought it was a good thing, number 13. Good.
It's only ever since you had written history and you had like the main bad things that happened with 13 that was written down in the history books, like the Templars and everything like that. It's only since that gave it a bad name because, like I say, most of us are sensible enough to know that, you know, your danglies are not going to fall off just because it's Friday the 13th, you know?
Well, as I say, that was a media-driven thing, but it does go back a lot further. I think it shows when you start looking at it, the number 13 has greater relevance than initially thought. And when you start looking at, like, the dinner party thing, and then we're now looking at the Aztecs, I mean, it's not a new concept, is it?
No.
I mean, even in tarot, where the origins are, you know, like lost in the mists of time, the card death is number 13.
Yeah, but that's also a new beginning, isn't it? It's just the end of something as you know it and the start of something new.
Exactly, yeah. It's about transformation, basically. It's moving on to something better. We hope, anyway, depending on your reading. Anyway, let's have a look at some fun facts regarding 13, because I got a bit bored with the serious side of it. So we went on to the fun facts. Colgate University. Good old Colgate.
Did you know? I know Colgate University, and this is serious. You know they have an initiation rite, you know, because you get the chapters there, and they do all the hazing and this, that, and the other. Well, the one for the Colgate University is they all have to stand there in their underpants, raise a toothbrush high, and then brush their teeth vigorously, and then they get in.
Really? No, that's crap. No, that's crap.
What are you on about? It's Colgate.
For a split second there, my mind went, "Oh, that's interesting," and then I realised he was taking the mickey. For a split second there, my mind actually went, "That's interesting." How sad am I? How sad?
How long do you know me?
I know, but even so, I go, "Ooh, that's interesting. I need to check that." No, maybe not.
And Richard is right about the bakers and number 13, Baker's dozen.
I love the way they're all ahead of us in the chat room. They're way ahead of us. Anyway, Colgate University in Madison County in New York City. The number 13 is a very good omen. It is told the school was founded by 13 men with $13 and 13 prayers. The address is 13 Oak Drive, and the school is now named in honour of the soap maker William Colgate, who created Colgate Palmolive. Oh my God. It's because I've read all these weird words. I can't read normal words now. 13, that's quite an integral number for them guys, and you've got to admit they're pretty damn successful.
Yes, and like I say, their initiation rites, toothpaste, and then they have to wash themselves thoroughly with palm olive soap. But and then the next bit, you guys over the pond there in the States, you should like this next bit.
13 stripes in the flag of the United States of America. Now, the 13 stripes represent the original 13 colonies that rebelled against British rule. God damn you. These 13 colonies became... Sorry, I'm English. Oh, I'm going to disagree with that point. These 13 colonies became the first 13 states. That's why there are 13 stripes on the flag of the United States of America.
This is very true.
There are 13 bars on the shield on the dollar bill. There are 13 leaves on the olive branch, and there are 13 fruits. There are also 13 arrows, and there are 13 stars above the eagle.
Do you want to know what the first 13 colonies were?
Oh, go on then.
Well, I suspect Jay will know this. Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Georgia, Connecticut, Massachusetts Bay, Maryland, South Carolina, New Hampshire, Virginia, New York, North Carolina, and Rhode Island and Providence plantations.
Well, there you go, guys.
Use a bit of information for you. There you go. It's useful in pub quizzes.
In pub quizzes, if you're ever asked, you now know the answer.
Pub quizzes, yeah.
There are also 13 steps on the pyramid. There are 13 letters in E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one. There are 13 letters in Anuit Coptis, meaning God has favoured our undertaking.
Did I just see there are 13 plums on an eagle's wing?
Plumes, I think that should read.
It says plums.
Clearly that was a misspell by Kerry Greenaway in her research, all right?
That must be a very happy eagle, is all I will say.
Plums, plumes.
You could just see that eagle, can't you? He's the daddy of all eagles. He is there going...
He's got plums on his feathers, guys. Plumes of feathers on each of the eagle's wings, I would just like to add. So 13 in the dollar bill is actually quite a thing.
Yeah.
Quite a thing, really. And that obviously relates to the 13 original states of America.
The taking back, the war of kicking the English out, because to be absolutely fair, when you read into it, us back then, we were complete gits to them over there. We really were. And then when the taxes got higher and higher and higher and higher, because you had the Boston Tea Party and everything like that, that's what it all kicked off, because we were just being greedy so-and-sos. But, that was the English rule back then, because, we had the best navy in the world and all the land and everything. So, but it went to the Reds. And that's why.
Mm-hmm. Right. Let's talk about the Salem witch trial, everybody.
Moving swiftly on.
I'm not giving my personal opinion of that, but hey, let's move swiftly on. Kaz, the Salem witch trials.
13 women were found guilty and executed in Salem. The following 13 women were found guilty of witchcraft and executed. There was Bridget Bishop, Rebecca Nurse, Sarah Good, Elizabeth Howe, Sarah Wells, Susanna Martin, Martha Carrier, Martha Corey, Martha Eastie, Alice Parker, Mary Parker, Anne Perdita, and Margaret Stevenson Scott, and they were all executed for witchcraft.
They were 13 of them.
Complete travesty.
Oh God! All witch trials were a complete travesty.
Exactly. Sorry, Kaz?
It's just horrible, isn't it?
Well, the only. Like back then, the only sort of people who were genuinely witches were hedge witches or white witches that did herbal medicine and knew about animals and the stars and headology and the old gods and things like that. They weren't evil, they weren't nasty. They just tried to help people. But fortunately, you had some idiot in black and white clothes who went, "I must pronounce you a witch." You could talk to your cat and go, "How are you today?" And the cat goes meow, and you go, "Oh, really?" Like we all do. And you're going to hear witch. That's it. So, she uses scented toilet paper. She must be a witch.
That's actually quite a good topic for a show. I know Penny has covered that on Haunted History. She talked about Salem in a different way. She talked about the history and people that have investigated there and stuff like that. But the actual fundamentals of that's quite a good topic for a show, Salem. The Salem witch trials is actually fascinating. And I remember reading The Crucible at school. Yeah. I was quite a precocious child. I remember reading The Crucible.
You still are.
I'm not precocious. I'm the evil witch. I'm not. I'm lovely. Remember this. I keep telling you.
It's like you guys. I would class you guys as
precocious. Clearly.
No. Because of your gifts, I would class you guys as like hedge witches. But you'd be damned straight away. You'd be burnt at the stake.
No, I would be better than I'm definitely not a hedge witch, though.
I prefer scampi, though, not stake.
I don't know what... Oh, that's a whole different topic. What kind of witch are you?
Yeah.
I think we should do a show about Salem witch trial and also one about the Assizes of Essex, because that's interesting as well. And I've got a whole thing of all the witches for them.
Oh, gosh, don't. Andy Mercer will be on that. He's an absolute authority on the topic of witches of Essex. Anyway, let's have a look at the Winchester House. The number 13 is quite integral in regards to the Winchester House. Now, that is in San Jose in California and belonged to... Did I say that wrong?
San Jose?
Yeah.
Winchester House in San Jose, yeah.
Yeah, I said it right, except for once. That was owned by Sarah Winchester between 1839 and 1922. Again, Haunted Histories has covered the Winchester House, so check that show out. The house was under, I'll recap quickly, constant construction during her lifetime. Yep. Now, she was the widow of William Winchester, who was the owner of Winchester Repeating Arms Company, the firearms, rifles.
That's right.
And she had an obsession with spirits and people, that had been killed by the Winchester rifles. Now, she built this house. Every Friday, the 13th, a bell is rung 13 times at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, which is actually 1300. Yeah?
Yep.
It's in the house itself. The chandelier holds 13 candles. The glass window panes are made up of 13 coloured stones. The drain covers in the sinks have 13 holes. There are 13 bathrooms. Clothes hooks are grouped in 13. All the staircases, except for one, have 13 steps. Her will had 13 sections, and she signed her will 13 times. That's weird. You got to admit, that's weird.
The whole Winchester thing is a fascinating story in itself. Penny's show that she did on it was fascinating, and she did a brilliant show on that. But there's also a film they brought out about it as well recently, and again they stuck quite close to what really went on. Yeah. Brilliant. But when you look right into it, she was nuts. I understand what's originally started it off, but it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. There's doors that lead to nowhere, rooms that lead to nowhere. But
that was down to an earthquake. That does seem to be down to an earthquake that actually leveled the house down. So there is, although it's weird, there are logical, if you can call the house logical, which it really isn't, but there are reasons you can understand why certain things are the way they are.
You can follow the logic,
Ish, because it is a weird house. I have to say, I'd love to see it. I'd love to go and visit it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be so. When we do that thing in America, we will go and do it. That'll be one of our shows. We're going to do that.
Well, apparently, according to Richard Clements into chat room.
Into chat room,
going right back to beginning. Apparently, that has happened. I can't find it now, but he mentioned the Winnebago. Oh yeah. That's right. Paramount Pictures have commissioned a movie about a paranormal road trip across America in the Winnebago.
See? And they didn't choose us. That would have been the best. That would have been an awesome. Us lot as cast members. Oh my God. Can you imagine that?
It would be a little bit like Paul the movie, wouldn't it? Except it would be us lot in a Winnebago instead.
You could have Paul
without an
well.
alien. With an alien that's Mark instead of Paul, and it just, oh God, it would be horrendous.
I actually meant Paul Rook, but never mind.
Yeah, Paul Rook would be there, and you'd be there shouting aliens in his ear every 5 minutes and driving him crazy.
Yes.
Jay would be there,
Would Joe be doing aliens as well? He'd be going, aliens as well.
He would, and also be there to put right my pronunciation on various places in America rather than Alpaca mountains and stuff. And it would be an absolute blast.
Absolute mental.
Absolute blast. So if there are any production companies out there listening, that's absolutely definitely on your list to, produce and give us the options. Anyway. Jokes. The number 13 is obviously quite an integral thing. Oh my God. The number 13 is quite integral. And the baker's dozen, that dates back to medieval England, when punishment was severe for bakers who cheated their customers. So they gave an extra one just to be safe.
Just to be on the safe side.
Just to be on the safe side.
Yeah.
The 13th.
Being burnt as well, but I can't quite remember what all that was. But there was the baker's dozen was also to do with in case any of them were burnt.
They gave it away for free.
One bad burnt one.
See, I don't mind a bit of burnt bread.
Yeah, but it's like redheads. My family, my daughter's a redhead. I'm a redhead. As soon as we go out in the sun, one of us gets burnt. So
Don't mean so you'd eat it though.
No, because that's just plain wrong.
Now, the 13th runic letter is Iwaz. It's associated with Dracel, the tree of life.
Iwaz. 13th runic letter, Iwaz. Yes, Yggdrasil, the tree. Yggdrasil, the tree.
I missed out the first bit, so I just meant for Drasil.
Drasil is Yggdrasil's younger brother. Oh, God, you're frozen. Don't say my internet's gone.
No, you haven't. It's my phone that's kicking off. I've got people trying to call me and... I'm like, no, I'm in a show. Sod off. In Norway, there are 13 counties. Each county has an official number. The numbers go up to 20, but no county has the official number 13. Did you know this, guys?
Well, I didn't. There's 19 counties in Norway, and I didn't even know Norway had counties. I thought the only other place that had counties was America, but their counties are bigger than our ones,
Okay, the number 13 bus in London during the Blitz of the Second World War was never injured.
Wow.
That's weird.
Have you seen the Blitz map of London?
Yeah, it's horrendous.
When I used to live in London, I called it up one day and looked at the Blitz map, and literally where we lived, the one block that we lived in, all around us, all around that block, had been bombed the living daylights out of. But the patch of land that where we live stood didn't get touched.
Exactly.
Bizarre.
Weird. Aluminium, which is quite integral into some research that I'm doing, has the atomic number of 13.
You're doing research on aluminium?
Well, amongst other minerals and crystals, but yeah.
We're going to have a chat about that sometime, because that sounds interesting. I might need to pick your brains on it.
Oh, trust me, if you turn up to Paraforce, then you'll probably hear all about that. Now,
I'm in the middle of trying to sort that.
Uh-huh. The number 13 in the Christmas pudding. Christmas puddings. Big old tradition. Allegedly, it must contain 13 different ingredients. Now, the 13 ingredients... I know, I didn't know this either. The 13 ingredients represent the 12 disciples and Jesus. And the holly, the bit of sprig of holly, represents the crown of thorns.
Ah, okay. And also, wasn't there, you had to put the silver... What was that coin you put in the Christmas pud?
Like a penny, wasn't it?
Yeah, and whoever had it, they had good luck for the rest of the year.
Good luck, exactly. Now, there was also a superstition that whoever... Now, I defy anybody to do this, right? And I'm just saying, if you can manage this, you're a big fat pig, right? Because if you can eat Christmas pudding in 13 different homes between Christmas Day and New Year's Day...
Vicar of Dibley.
Right? You would enjoy good luck in the coming year.
You'd also be you put on 13 stone as well.
Could you imagine?
You'd put on 30. You would be. Have you seen the Vicar of Dibley when she does that and goes around and has all those Christmas dinners?
Yeah. Oh God, she was. Yeah, but as I say, I ain't gonna repeat what I just said. But yeah,
13 dinners.
So the number 13 is more interesting than you, and your immediate thought when you say 13 is Friday the 13th, where we started the show with. But actually, when you start looking into it, it's got a much deeper history. And for some, it's good luck. For some, it's bad luck. And some people just purely defied it with the 13 Club. And ultimately, what an interesting topic.
Do you know something?
Kaz?
Actually, every time you get a new postman, he comes and knocks on my door. And he'll ask me where number 13 is, because there's no number 13 on my street.
There is no number 13s on the street. I agree with that.
Yeah, but to be honest, everybody knocks on your door, because when everybody wants to know anything, they just turn around and say, if you go and ask the wee Scottish woman down there, she's a bit of a wee, a bit of a beastie, she'll tell you. She give me the eye. She's got the eye.
Very, very true. There is no number 13 on an elevator. There is no number 13 on a street because of this superstition regarding 13. It's supposed to be bad luck. And allegedly, you can't sell a house very easily if your house number, excuse me, is number 13. That's why they don't include it. So it'd be like 12, 12, 8.
Yeah, and there's a lot of places in America that don't have a 13th floor, isn't there?
No, exactly. They'll skip it. They'll go from like 12 to 14 straight away without even acknowledging a 13. Weird.
It's strange, isn't it?
It is really a little weird. Anyway, guys, on number 13, we have come to the end of the show.
And you haven't had a meltdown.
Amazing.
Yeah, you haven't had a meltdown. The chat room hasn't gone into the chat room has gone into overdrive, but it hasn't gone into meltdown. So
no, but there's been some fantastic comments in the chat room. Thank you, guys.
There always is.
Yeah,
there always is. We have good listeners.
We have some amazing listeners, and they've been absolutely fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us in the chat room. We have got. I'm going to give a few people a shout out. We've got Jay, we've got James, we've got Gary. Hi, Gary. Carl Hutchinson is in there. Who else is in there? Or who haven't I mentioned? Me, I'm in there. Paul Rook is in there. I'm just having a quick scroll through. Richard Clements is in there. It's been on fire tonight in the chat room. So thank you so much for joining us. We absolutely appreciate you coming into our chat room and providing entertainment for us and some really interesting facts. Thank you, Gary. Amazing facts there.
I was about to say that with our listeners, or I'll say our readers, just confuse everybody. Every week they come out with more and more interesting things, and it's really nice to see you guys getting involved, and it's getting more and more involved each week. Yeah. Keep it up. It's brilliant.
Yeah, we do love it. This is our channel for you guys, and it's all about you, not us. And we bring you the shows, you give us the information and what you want to hear. So, as always, there is a competition running on the Parasearch Radio group page for a mediumistic reading with our very own Claire Hinks. Go over to the group page on Facebook. If you have to be a member of the group page, and comment on the post if you'd like to be part of that. That gets drawn on Sunday evening, 9 p.m. Talking of which, the Spirit Dimension goes live at 9 p.m. on Sunday evening. I have got the amazing Heather Prince in the studio. We are doing phone-ins on that particular show. If you want to be part of that show, you need to let me know. Give me a personal message. We will sort the tech side of it out, and we can get you on with Heather, and she can do her Akashic Soul release live on air for you. That's shaping up to be an absolutely amazing show. Also on Sunday at 8 p.m, Sean Cadman is going live on the Parasearch Radio group page with his question and answer session. So be there or be square is what I'm going to say to that. You get to ask him any question you want, obviously paranormal related, or if not, just ask him and I'm sure he'll bat them away, whatever. We are on Podbean for our archived shows. We are on YouTube. Check our new YouTube channel out. It is awesome. New vlogs, new intros, all sorts of things going up on the Parasearch Radio YouTube page. Don't forget to click like, share, subscribe if you like what you see. We are live 6 nights a week with 7 shows for you guys a week. If there's anything you want us to cover, let us know. If you want to get on a show, approach us. We're very friendly, believe it or not. Aren't we, guys?
Some more than others.
Me with my evil queen. Yeah, approach maybe one of the others. On that note, we love you all. Thank you so much for joining us. And we shall see you next week. What are we talking about next week, my lovely, lovely co-hosts?
We are talking about big cats and black shucks.
Ooh, we love a bit of folklore.
Well, some is folklore, some is hearsay, and some is real and backed up by a lot of things. I'm not going to say anything else, but yes.
Oh, I can't wait for that one. So join us next week, 9 p.m. on Friday evening for the Dark Mirror Paranormal Show. I am Kerry Greenaway. You've been listening to myself, to Mark Manley and Kaz Rooney. We hope you enjoyed our show. And on that note, we bid you all a very good weekend and a good farewell. Good night, guys. Say good night.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Night-night.
Good night.
Bye, aliens!
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to join us for more shows throughout the week. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and the World Wide Web to keep up to date with all the shows right here on Parasearch Radio.